We're just waiting for everyone to join. I want to thank everyone for attending our workshop today. We do have a Q&A, so feel free to ask questions under the Q&A tab, and we will be answering them as we go along. Some of the questions you may have, we may cover later on, so if we do, we will let you know. But we hope to get through all of your questions during this session. If we do not, please know that you can contact your ISS advisor, because we will have this for 1 hour, this workshop. But then any further questions, again, make sure you talk to your ISS advisor. My name is Melinda Ingersoll. People call me Mindy. I am an ISS advisor here at UPenn, and I'm here with my colleague Mariflop.
Hello, everybody. Great to be here with you.
Okay, so we're going to get started. So what is the purpose of CPT? CPT is for employment, F-1 authorization for employment. It allows students to be able to gain practical experience while you are studying. So CPT, the important thing to know about CPT is that it's during the time that you're studying. So while you're taking classes and while you're enrolled at Penn. And it's specifically for getting training or doing employment or internship or anything that's regarded to your field of study. And it has to be related to your program and have academic approval. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So what's the criteria for CPT work authorization? So you need to know that for work experience, CPT must be part of your established curriculum. So there's two ways this can be. One is that it's required for your degree. So this means that in order for you to graduate with this degree, you need to have an internship. So there is a seminar class or a required internship class in order to receive your degree. The second part is that it's an additional course that you're taking as part of that course. It's part of, there's a CPT component that you can take, but it's more optional. And this one is more common. So a lot of students, whether you're in C's or you're in Wharton or other programs, arts and science, you will take an additional course that's related to for CPT, and you will need to work with your academic department and your academic advisor to sign up for this course. So again, the two components are either that it's a degree seeking, it's required for your degree, or it is an optional course for you. So here's some examples of CPT handbooks. So make sure that you can go through different information websites at Penn. So we have C's, we have the handbook, we have arts and science, we have a CPT guidelines for arts and science. We have the Wharton. These are all on our website as well. So when you go onto UPenn, our ISS website, and you Google CPT, you can find links to each one of these websites. There's also design and law. So make sure that you first are following your academic program and getting the academic approval first before you go further in applying for CPT. So what are the eligible requirements for CPT? The first one is you have to have a valid F-1 status. You have to be enrolled full-time and at least one full academic year. So that means 2 semesters. You'll need to, will the slides be shared? Unfortunately, no, but we will be sharing this webinar just so you know online. So just to reiterate, you have to have one full academic year. That's 2 semesters here at Penn, or at another school, and you're transferring your I-20, but it has to have the same CVIS ID number. So again, that's one full academic year that you could have under your same CVIS ID number. You have to have a declared major, and you also have to have a job offer. This is really important. We cannot approve CPT if you don't have a job offer. So you'll need that, and then work with your academic department and register for a CPT course. And then once you're done, you'll have to submit through IPEN and CPT request e-form where your advisor will approve that e-form. And in that e-form, it will ask you to upload that job offer along with some other information. And that e-form then will get forwarded to your academic advisor. Your academic advisor will approve it. Once they approve it and we have the job offer and you're registered for the course, we then can approve your CPT. So the application process, again, obtain an offer letter. It has to be a letterhead with a signature. So also make sure that it has the correct dates, the start and end date of your CPT. This is very important. It can't have some kind of random date that's not actually your CPT or doesn't include the date. So make sure the date along with the description and it's on letterhead and there is a signature. Okay, and make sure you register for the CPT course. Those are two very important things that you need for your first step. The second one is you're going to complete the CPT application through iPen and get that advisor, put the advisor information on the e-form, and then the e-form will be forwarded to your advisor so they can approve it. Once they approve it, the DSO, which is your ISS advisor, will then review your CPT request. And if everything is correct and there's nothing we need further, we will usually approve it within 5 to 7 business days. If there's any information we need, we will contact you and make sure we get it before we approve it. Please know again that it takes 5 to 7 days during our peak time. We are getting to our peak time, so in about a month, I know most of you will be trying to apply for summer CPT. Please allow up to 7 business days since it's going to be our peak time at the end of March, early April. And then once we approve it, you will receive a new I-20 with signed from us. Make sure you hold on to that. That CPT also, any CPT that you do get when later on, if you want to apply for OPT, you will need that CPT I-20 to apply for OPT. So hold on to any CPT I-20s that you have. So the timeline, this is important. I'm getting a lot of questions about timeline right now because a lot of students are applying or want to apply for CPT this summer and they have summer internships. So one of the things I do want to point out is that through iPen, if you start applying now, we do not have an option for summer or fall CPT to apply yet. We open it up during when course registration starts. So don't panic if you're trying to apply for summer CPT right now and you do not see a summer option. Give it a few more weeks because once summer registration starts, that's when it will open up the e-form for you to apply. So once the e-form or once summer and fall or spring registration has begun, that's when the e-form will be available to you to apply. Make sure that you get that course registration and that academic approval along with that letter. So we'll need that. You must apply at least 2 weeks before your CPT begins as well. Do not wait till the last minute. We can't guarantee that we will approve it in time for you. Also, make sure that you cannot start until you have that CPT approval. So if you give us a form and it says that the CPT is starting within 2 days and we can't approve it for another week, you're going to need to give us a new offer letter with a new start date with the appropriate start date that we can verify. So make sure that you have the correct start date and the start date gives us enough time to approve your CPT. So again, kind of the timeline here is you're going to register for your CPT course, you're going to secure that internship, then you're going to apply through IPEN. Your academic advisor will approve the e-form and then it will come to us officially and we will be able to approve it and issue you a new I-20. I'm going to hand it over to Mara now. She's going to go over kind of the basics and review some things.
Hi, thanks, Mindy. Hi, everybody. Okay, so just a review of some of the basics that Mindy may have covered. So the CPT is your employment option before graduation. Post-graduation, it's OPT. Pre-graduation, it is CPT. It is your CPT is approved by ISSS. The good news is you do not need approval through an additional government agency like USCIS. So once we approve, as Mindy said, and you receive our approval, then you can begin working, but not before. You must, and also on the date of your offer letter and the start date of your CPT approval. You must have completed 1 academic year of full-time enrollment with an active CVIS record. So usually that's fall and spring. It absolutely must be related to your major. Keep in mind that this also, your CPT gets approved first by your academic or program advisor, and they look for this relationship. So make sure that it is related to your major. And if you have questions about that, speak to either a faculty or your program advisor. You cannot start working, and this is including unpaid work or orientation training, including onboarding, until your CPT is approved and your CPT approval I-20 is received. Next. Oh, did we miss one? I think that okay. So future implications of your CPT, 12 months of full-time CPT will eliminate OPT benefits. Keep in mind that it has to be 12 months of full-time CPT that will eliminate OPT benefits. If it's 2 months over the summer, you're fine. Even if it's an aggregate of 6 months throughout your time at Penn, that's okay as well. It starts at 12 months when your OPT benefits become eliminated. Sometimes, if you do not do your CPT authorization and you work, there is a high possibility that you will get an RFE for future immigration applications. That's including your STEM OPT, your H-1B, your LPR, and even a regular OPT application might be included in this. So it is super important that if you are getting any type of employment, whether that is volunteering, internships that are unpaid or paid, that you apply for CPT. Next, sorry. So some important reminders: CPT can be part-time or full-time, but please note this well, that full-time CPT is only allowed when classes are not in session. You cannot do full-time CPT on like a reduced course load. It's full-time CPT is only allowed when classes are not in session. Report any changes to ISSS for your CPT. It is possible to have multiple employers simultaneously for your CPT, but you must list each employer separately on the e-form. And if it's part-time CPT, you have to just be mindful of the hours. Start and end dates to choose. CPT dates should be within the term the student's request for it. Sometimes you'll apply for summer CPT around now, but you will not, that does not mean that you will be doing the CPT for the spring semester. Just because you apply during the spring semester, you're applying for your CPT for a future date, usually for a future semester. The earliest start date for summer, well, this is 2026. Wait, oh, okay. So the earliest start date for summer CPT is usually after finals, and the end date is on or before the start of the fall semester, whichever dates those are. So usually for students, I'll have them list the earliest date being the first date after the end of the spring semester in this case. However, that is not how it has to be. You can choose a date anytime within the summer session in this case. All right. Some frequently asked questions. How long does CP take to apply for? So it's anywhere from 3 to 7 business days. Usually count on somewhere usually between 3 and 5, but our busy season is upon us, so it can sometimes take 7 days. As I said, first it goes to, and Mindy said, first it goes to your academic advisor, then it comes to us. As long as everything looks good, we approve and we'll give you an updated I-20. Do I need to have a job offer before I apply for CPT? Yes, you do. And you will upload that job offer letter in your IPEN when you are applying for your CPT. And that will again be approved by your academic department as well as us. Do I need to send my CPT request to USCIS? No, you do not. Can I start working after I submit CPT to ISSS? No, you must wait to work until you receive our approval. Um, okay. Oh wait, and I've submitted my CPT a while ago, but I haven't heard anything yet. What should I do next? You can contact your ISSS advisor and they can usually tell you what's happening, like where it is in the queue. Maybe your advisor still has it, your academic advisor. I just got an email from my school informing me the e-form is approved. Can I start working now? Um, if the email was from your academic department, the answer is no. It has to be from ISSS. ISSS. That email should come from us. We are the final approver for your CPT. Can I work with 2 employers under one CPT request? Actually, do you know the answer to this question, Mindy? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if they have to submit 2 requests
So
for.
yes, you can work for 2 employers during, for once, you just have to upload 2 letters on the e-form. So there's one e-form, but it will prompt you and ask you if you have an additional CPT, and therefore you could upload a second letter. So you don't need 2 separate CPT courses. So you could do multiple CPTs under that CPT course as long as it's academically approved by your advisor. But in that e-form, when it asks you to upload your letter, it will prompt you to say, do you have another CPT to upload for approval? So you can do that on the e-form.
Thank you. All right, next. Oh, we're done. Oh, no, we're not. Okay. So social security number application. So oftentimes when you're doing CPT, you will want to get your social security number. Just a couple things to keep in mind. Your social security number is not what determines your work authorization in the US. For you all, either having your CPT authorization or your OPT authorization, or if it's on-campus employment. Determines your work authorization. Your documents needed to apply for your social security number. You're going to need your proof of employment, your I-20, and the I-20 that is endorsed for CPT. You will need your passport. You will have to have a printout of your electronic I-94 arrival record. There is the site to get that. And when you go for your appointment at the Social Security office, you have to bring all of those original documents. Please remember that your application will not be processed more than 30 days in advance of that CPT employment start date. Uh, for the whole process, in terms of getting your social security number, the web address, where see that web address for more information, will walk you through that exact process. Okay, next. And now we are done. So I think we have some time for any other questions that might not have been answered in the Q&A.
Yeah, I've been trying to answer some of these as we're moving. So I can kind of go through some of these questions. Please share your feedback. This will also be online. So I know one of you asked if we're sharing the slides again. We're recording this, so we'll make sure that this is posted on our website. Earlier question that I just answered again, I'm trying to answer them as we're talking, but About fees, this is an important question, so I wanted to kind of talk about it for just a second. If you're signing up for a CPT summer class, I found out that some schools do not require you to pay additional tuition for the summer course. So Wharton, I know, and Arts and Science do not, you don't have to pay an additional fee for the summer CPT course, but you need to check with your department to confirm that. If the internship course is part of your regular course tuition fees, unless you're taking an additional credits that are past the full-time amount, you may be charged more, but if the credit hours for the CPT are included in full-time tuition rate, you wouldn't be charged an additional fee for CPT. It's only if you're above the full-time rate that you're being charged. But again, I would talk to your advisor and your academic department regarding anything for fees and billing. I have here, if I don't know which employer I'll be working for, should I not apply for CPT yet? Yes, we cannot issue your CPT until we have the official letter. So please make sure that you have the employer and everything squared away before you apply for CPT, because that is required for approval. Do I need CPT to work outside the US? This is a very good question. No, you do not. So if you're working outside the US, you're not on US soil. So your immigration guidelines are only for when you're physically here in the US. But if you're working remote, you do need CPT approval if you're physically here in the US. So some students say, well, I'm working for a remote company that's not based in the US. But if you're physically here in the US, you still need then approval. But if you're outside the US, no, you do not need approval for CPT. Is it okay for the contract to only have, sorry, I'm trying to see, only have the city and state as the address, or do I need a full office location? My contract only has, ideally, we want the full address because that's really important, especially if you do get audited or something in the future, if you're applying for OPT or any type of future immigration, they may ask for that letter. So please make sure that your employer has the full address of their location. If if I have CPT form signed by my advisor and the dean by the department, do I submit it directly on my IS advisor? So this is a good question because I know a lot of programs require you to do a CPT request form through their department. Once you fill out that department form and they approve it, then you can go onto your iPen and submit a CPT request. In that CPT IPEN e-form, it will get forwarded to your advisor. The advisor will then be able to approve it, but they can't approve it until you went through the internal process of the department. So you will not need to submit that approval form from your department. What you do is just submit the e-form and put the advisor's information on the e-form, and they'll then know how to approve it because you've already gone through the internal process, so they can approve the e-form. Can you clarify the RFE? What were you saying that I don't end up working on CPT? I will get in trouble at OPT stage? Am I misunderstanding? So this is, if you're applying for OPT, there are, it is required that you upload your CPT I-20s. And so when you do apply, they'll ask you to upload all your CPT I-20s. And if they review your application and they see there's something confusing about your CPT or they have questions about your CPT, they may ask for a request for evidence, meaning that they will delay your approval and say, well, we need some more information about your CPT. It could be there's confusion about what you were doing or who you're working for. So it's really important that you have all your documents and have everything that they need originally from CP to apply for CPT, and we review them to make sure that you have what is needed. But you, as far as getting in trouble, I mean, it's not mostly in trouble, it's just that they wanna make sure and clarify what you're doing in CPT is actually part of your curriculum and that it's legit something that, has been approved legally, and they may ask to talk to your employer, they could ask for a certain, well, not talk to your employer, but they may ask for a letter from your employer or more description of your CPT experience. This could also come up if you're applying for H-1B or other immigration status. So, it's really important. I had a colleague today say F is forever, meaning whatever you do during your F, any documentation can follow you for other statuses. So make sure you follow the right protocols for CPT. Um,
Also, if
yeah.
you work and you don't report, you are
Mhm.
not authorized through CPT, when you apply for STEM, when you apply for H-1B, USCIS does a deep dive, and there's a good possibility that they could find out that you worked without having authorization, and that could result in a denial. So you want to make sure that you do not work without authorization.
Yes. I submitted my form through iPen this morning and uploaded all the required. I've also been added to. Okay. You just have to wait till we are able to. Now, if you've submitted your form, my guess right now it's probably forwarded to your advisor. Then your advisor approves it, and then we'll review it. Um, and that if you already have been registered for the summer course, then we could technically approve your CPT, but we'd have to make sure that everything is um, up to date as far as especially the registration. Sometimes advanced registration I know is starting soon, so we'd have to again confirm everything. And again, your advisor will still need to prove this e-form. So my guess is probably with them, but once it gets to us and we have everything, we can then approve your summer CPT. Is it possible to get credit for summer CPT? Yes, you do need credit for CPT for the summer unless it's part of your academic program, which is again small, like it's some programs CPT is it's like nursing or other departments have well, nursing don't have CPT, but for other programs you'll need though a summer course, so you need to get credit. Usually it's like, or sometimes we do have 0 CU credits, but a lot of them are zero point 0.5 or 1.5 CUs. Again, talk to your department, make sure you have registered for that course, but you do need credit for or a course for the summer CPT. Do we need a CPT if we plan to work at our home country? Again, this question was asked earlier. If you're working outside the US, no, you do not need CPT approval. Can we work full-time on CPT, work on campus? Yes, you can do both. There isn't a limit as far as hours, as far as CPT. If you're full-time, you can still do your work on campus. But you do have to fulfill the guidelines for the summer on-campus employment, which is 20 hours during the semester and 40 hours during breaks. Will we get an email from ISSS once the summer course registration? No, we don't. We will not email you saying the summer course registration has been open because that's more of an academic. So you will know from your academic department when summer registration opens. And again, just to reiterate, make sure you talk to your department because a lot of departments have a timeline for summer CPT courses and they actually won't allow you to register through Path at Penn. They register you for the course and you have to go through their approval process in order for them to register you for that CPT course. Apart from passport, I-20, and signed offer letter, are there any documents we need to upload submitting CPT? Your I-94 is something that we usually look at. So make sure you have your I-94. And again, that offer letter is really important. Okay, is there anything else as far as we would need for CPT approval? That's pretty much it. Just want to make sure. Just to clarify, the portal to apply for summer CPT is not open until, and as of now, I've seen that it's not the drop-down menu for summer and fall. So when you go to apply, there's a drop-down menu that asks you which semester you're applying for. Currently, summer is not option or fall. I've seen some students putting spring 2026 on there, but it's actually wrong because you're applying for summer or fall. You're not applying for the spring. So if you're trying to do a summer or fall internship, you need to wait a few more weeks until advanced registration opens. My contract is from June 8th. Um, I lost that question. Sorry. Um, if I want to continue employment part-time through fall, if the employer approves, will. So if you continue your employment through the fall, you'll need to reapply for CPT. because it's only approved by semester. So if you want to do something that is summer and fall, you'll need to reapply and go through the same approval process for the fall as you did for the summer. And you could do full-time summer and part-time fall if you like, if you have approval. What is the latest day I can work in the summer? So you can work all the way up to the first day of the semester. Um, what day does the semester start? It's like August 28th, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So whatever day the first day of fall semester starts is the day before that. So you can work for summer CPT. What specific documents would you request for the company will be interning with the CPT authorization? For example, a signed letter. Again, a letter is what you'll need for us with the approval of the job description along with the letterhead and signature. So again, make sure all those things are there for this letter. That's what you need for your employer.
Yeah, and the dates.
And the dates, yes, the dates are really important. I know
Mhm.
there was a question earlier, like, what if I change my dates? We'll need a new updated letter. So if you're saying you're gonna end August 7th and now you want to extend it to August 12th, we will need an updated offer letter with the new dates. What is the deadline to extend CPT duration? Can I extend it? Again, this was, yeah, we were just
It's the
talking about
same.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, give us don't, the thing is sometimes I'll get an email from a student on the 7th saying I want to continue to work until the 12th. Again, the timeline is really important. If you know you're extending it until the 12th, you still need to give us a few days to update your CPT I-20. So don't wait till the last minute. Give us at least a week so we can update it. And you cannot work until those dates have been amended. So if you end on the 12th and we haven't changed that CPT and it's already the 13th, you can't work on the 13th until you have that updated CPT.
Mindy, do you want me to
Yeah,
take over? I
sure.
feel like, are you
Yeah,
tired?
no problem.
They're going fast and
They
furious.
are. You,
Oh.
okay.
If the I just wanted to give you a break. If
Me
the
too.
employer wants me to continue working into the semester, is there anything I should do? For example, shall I reduce the hours work? You cannot work into the semester under a lot of program department requirements. So this would be something that would have to be approved through the department, and most programs do not allow students to do CPT during the semester. It's oftentimes a summer thing. But if your program does, your first step to doing that is talking with them for their approval. I got an official offer letter from a U.S. company, but not support CPT in this case. Should I apply for summer CPT because my EAD card is in process? I'm afraid not approved. Um, this is a little bit of a confusing question. During While you are a student, you should be doing CPT. I don't know if this has to do with a pre-completion OPT situation. Um, this Talk to your advisor about this. Again, while you are a student, CPT is the way to go. If this is a pre-completion OPT situation, we've had so many delays with pre-completion OPT. Please speak with your advisor about that. For applying for CPT, is choosing the CPT course in summer a must? Yes, in almost all cases, choosing the CPT course in for the summer is required. You're choosing the course for which your CPT is occurring, the time period. So for most of you, that will be in the summer. So the course will be in the summer. Some departments have it in the fall after that summer. But once you go to your department and go through their process, there will be a lot more clarity in regards to that. My contract is from June 8th, but my employer asked for an effective CPT date of May 25th for onboarding. Can I apply for yes, you can. May 25th is fine. It's past the spring semester, so absolutely. My employers asked that we begin background checks, which require an I-9, which seems dependent on approved CPT. Is it possible to apply for summer CPT now rather than in a couple of weeks? No, you can't. Your CPT is not going to go through until it coincides with that course registration. But the procedure for the I-9, it shouldn't impact that. It doesn't take that long for that background check to occur. This is for an MBA. Okay, yeah. Again, required to the last question. This is for MBA. Luca, again, I would talk with your program advisor for specifics regarding that. All right. Any other questions?
These all have been really great questions. I hope
Mm-hmm.
that we were able to answer them. And if not, I know it can get a little confusing. We're here to, meet with you as advisors. You can reach out to your individual advisor again. We also have virtual drop-ins and we meet one-on-one with students. So you can go onto our site, and there is a page where you can schedule appointments or see when our virtual drop-ins are. So feel free to contact us at any time. I think the key takeaways are three things I always say with CPT. The first thing is academic approval. That's number one, and that's the most important. So you need to work with your department first. Make sure you have a course. Don't secure a job yet until you know you have that academic approval. And then, if you have an offer, don't accept the offer, wait till the academic approval, but then you need an offer and make sure you have all that and situated with the offer letter. Then it comes to us. So those are kind of the three steps to keep in mind. And once you have those approvals and everything, it's much easier for us to be able to approve your CPT. And again, the last thing, which is the most important, that you cannot work until you have CPT approval. There was a question that I answered that we didn't answer. I typed it in, but there was a question about on-campus employment. If you're working on campus, you do not need to apply for CPT, but just make sure that the on-campus employment is hired and supervised by Penn. Sometimes there's some Penn affiliate or affiliated organizations that aren't actually through Penn. So you want to confirm that this is indeed a on-campus employment. And if it is, then you do not need CPT, but you do need to know that you can only work 20 hours a week during the semester and you can work up to 40 during the breaks. So if there isn't any other questions, I want to thank you again for showing up today, and we're here for any future questions you may have. You can contact us individually, and again, your advisors, or come to one of our drop-in sessions.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank
The
you.
process is pretty simple as long as you follow those important things that Mindy said. And we hope you take advantage of it, of your CPT. It's a great opportunity.